Hello and welcome to Shed Talks, a series of talks from my shed. Have you seen any good movies lately? For me, one of the joys of going to the cinema in better times was making sure we were in our seats before the trailers began. Admittedly, I also didn't want to make a fool of myself by fumbling for my seat in the dark. But I still like watching the trailers, to see what was coming up and to work out when our next trip to the cinema was going to be. At this rate, it'll be sometime in 2022, if they haven't all closed down. In this streaming age, when I see that Amazon or Netflix have released a new movie, I always do one of two things. I check a website called imdb.com for a parental guidance advice. They give ratings on violence, profanity, sex and nudity, just to make sure that it's appropriate to watch. And I always watch the trailer if there's one available. Now hands up, who like me has watched the trailer and thought, wow, I've got to watch that. And then, when you did, 10 minutes in, you realise that happens to me all the time. But to be honest, it's not the trailer's fault. They are meant to show us the good bits, and if we think the rest of the movie is going to be that good, then we fall for it, and it's our fault. Surely that's the point of the marketing advertising industry, selling us something, even if they need to be economical with reality. I mean, have you ever had a burger or a ready meal that looks anything like the picture on the poster or the front of the box? And that way of working can stretch over into real life, especially into this social media age. No one puts the bad photos on Instagram or Facebook. Glossy magazines go out of their way to make things look good in their pages. Social influencers, whatever they are, don't show the bad side of things. No, they are carefully posed, or they edit it all in Photoshop to make it look good. They say a picture can paint 1,000 words, and most of them can be barefaced lies. On an individual level, our idols are always looked at in a good light, because we don't see the faults. And if we do catch a glimpse, invariably there'll be a spin to explain that they weren't really that bad. If it applies to celebrities, it can also be applicable to the Bible characters and the heroes of the faith. The Isaiahs, the Daniels, the Jeremiahs, the Peters, the Johns and the Barnabases. Whether we like it or not, we only have a snapshot of their lives, public and private. We have no idea what they were really like in reality. Our history is filled with saints like Muller and the Wesleys, Martin Luther and, dare I even say, the Billy Grahams. They and countless others who seem to have it all together. And we compare ourselves with all of our faults and we find ourselves failures. The point of all this is not to believe the hype. There is often a huge gap between perception and reality. Please don't make the mistake of falling into it. And of course, it can work the other way around. Do you ever manufacture your image to present the best picture of yourself? Do you hide the reality of your life in the hope that others will think better of you? Have you ever photoshopped aspects of your personality to give yourself an advantage? At the end of the day, all of us, every single living person on this planet, we're all living to impress an audience of one. And he knows everything about you, good and bad. You can't pull the wool over his eyes, so maybe it's best not to try and do it to anyone else either. The questions we have for reflection this week are: number 1, do you compare yourself to anyone and do you know why? Question 2, why do you feel guilty if you're not perfect? And question 3, are you guilty of putting on a show? Why do you think you need to? If you're watching this on YouTube, you can of course leave any questions or comments below. And we'll see you next time for more Shed Talks.